The latest in tech and accessibility. This is Access Tech Live with Stephen Scott and Marc Aflalo.
And we are back talking today all about Amazon's big devices and services event that happened just this week. And of course, here on Access Tech Live, we can bring you the very latest news live. That's why we're here. And with us to discuss this today, we have Celine Lee, who is the Alexa Country Manager for Canada. I promise I only nearly called you Alexa once, Celine. How are you? Welcome to Access Tech Live.
Well, thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Now, it's occurred to me watching the event that Lady A, as we like to call her here, is getting a little bit of a personality upgrade over the next year. Can you tell us a bit more about what's in store?
Yeah, so if you think about it, it's been almost a decade where we've been really steadfast in our vision about ambient intelligence. And we really created this paradigm shift in how customers interact with the technology around them, especially at home, and really combining the technology in a way that works behind the scene with real-world inputs to make people's lives easier. But I like that you mentioned personality because there's really a few things that we're doing now as, AI comes in and the industry is focused on AI for the phone, but we're looking at it for, a home assistant. And we have to think about it very differently. We want it to be conversational. We want it to work for real world applications. It needs to work in your home. It needs to work for your needs. It needs to be personalized, and it needs to have personality. You don't want a utilitarian companion in your home. You want one with personality. And so that's one of the reasons why Alexa has already become a part of so many families, and it will continue to get better.
Celine, she's been part of my family for a very long time. And when we first started hearing rumblings about things like ChatGPT and large language models, I was surprised that it's taken this long for any company to actually incorporate those into a product. And I'm so happy, selfishly, that it's obviously the Echo lineup and that we're seeing really put this to use in a great way. And I think that starts with the new Let's Chat feature. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how we'll be able to interact with it?
Yeah, so the idea here again is that we want to make sure that customers can trust the experience, and we always have valued the trust that customers put in us. It's the same with the experience here with Let's Chat. We want to make sure that customers can interact more conversationally. So you'd be able to, you don't have to remember exactly what's the name of the device that you created. You can just say, hey, Alexa, turn on the new light that I added to the living room. And Alexa would be able to understand that. So it's really making a leapfrog in terms of making the experience the way you would have a conversation with another human being.
I absolutely love that. And I love the way that you're designing that because, and it was alluded to on stage and we've heard about it since that, one of the biggest challenges we have, and we talk about it on our shows all the time, is, trying to explain some of this technology to other people who aren't particularly as technical as us. And there's usually one person in the family, right? It's usually Marc, it's usually me, who, in our families who, people will come to and try and fix the problem. And it'd be great if it was just that little bit simpler. Now, on that point, of course, hardware. We saw a lot of new hardware, but one thing in particular, in fact, first up, was the brand new Echo Show 8. Can you tell us a bit about what's new in this design this year?
Yes, the Echo Show 8 has this beautiful, glass screen. We've also centered the camera so that it makes any conversation through calls more natural, has redesigned and improved audio. I think you really see coming through this different upgrades, just a way of making the device even more, immersed in your environment, fading in the background when you don't need it. Also has the ability to adapt the content to where you are in the room. So if you're far, the screen might show you, in big letters, a clock, some news headlines. But as you get closer, you'll have more details, maybe a detailed weather forecast, something that makes sense as you're, closer to the screen. So it has this adaptive content as well, and it really seamlessly integrates in your environment.
I love how the service and just all the hardware is becoming more relevant to life, more relevant to what we're doing on an individual basis and more customizable that way. And I should mention, not all these features are going to be available, obviously, in Canada right away. A lot of the time they come out in the US and eventually make their way to other countries. So we'll obviously keep our eye on that. One of the big focus, and we talked about this earlier on the show today, from Amazon on stage, was a clear commitment and a lot of time spent on accessibility features. Talk about eye gaze technology, call translation, emergency access and support for people. Can you tell us about that and the company's commitment overall to accessibility, and also why it got that big of a spotlight?
Yeah, I'm so glad we were able to have an in-person presentation and to really showcase what we do every day in that domain. And so really designing accessible products at Amazon starts the same way we do most things. It's by working backwards from the customer. And that's because customer obsession is really core to our company, and it's one of our leadership principles. To create these products, we usually ask ourselves two questions. First, how will we ensure this product is accessible? And then second, is there anything about this product that might be especially important or impactful for customers with disabilities? Of course, that a key ingredient to designing and inventing products for everyone, including people with disabilities, is to be working with people with disabilities. That includes people in our company from engineering and QA roles, program management, user research. They're really living the experience we strive to build for and understand it firsthand. We also hear a lot from our customers, and that's a huge source of inspiration. In the presentation, we were able to share how some of the features, including eye gaze, was actually inspired by customer stories as well. So really excited to have these live for customers soon.
Yeah, I wanted to dig into that a little bit because, of course, that feedback from customers must be really important. And I wonder how much feedback you get from disabled customers when you roll these features out. What do people say to you? What are the responses? Do you get a lot of feedback?
You do get several, it goes from stories that are really, really heartwarming, customers who are quadriplegic and have shared how Alexa on Fire TV is a life-saving product because now they can independently watch TV without assistance from their family. Definitely stories of people using our emergency alerts or calling for an emergency situation, and that really saved their lives. And then we have different use cases that are also shared very often. Customers who are blind or have low vision and can use our Alexa show and tell feature to hold a household pantry item, and Alexa will tell them what it is. In Canada, we have also some very unique partnerships. We've worked with nonprofits, like, for instance, Connected Canadians, to work with seniors and older adults and see how Alexa can help them live independently, both independently and in care homes, as well as the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, where we've been in discussions. So there's really a lot of interests out there, and we're eager to make the best of Alexa to help people's lives.
Celine, obviously there were, announcements, new hardware on the Fire TV side, and there's also some security stuff. When are we going to see these products make it to Amazon.ca? Oh, sorry, we lost her audio there. Okay, so we'll give. Thank you, honestly, Celine, for being here. We were going to wrap up anyway, but that's Celine Lee, Amazon Country Manager for Alexa. Obviously, I think in stores now, the Echo Show 8 is actually available for pre-order now, and a lot of the Fire TV stuff are coming, I believe, in October, but we'll confirm with that and let you guys know on social media. Thank you to Celine Lee. Coming up, Stephen, we got to get to people's questions because people are answering our question,
Definitely.
Which is, what is the strangest thing you've asked your smart speaker? I've asked it where Celine Lee's audio went, and we'll find out the response after a quick break here at Access Tech Live.
We want to hear from you. Follow us on social media and get involved at Access Tech Live. We'll be right back.